Jean Judd. My maiden name was Hartman. I was born in Detroit, Michigan, July 18th, 1940. Some of my vivid memories when I was really little, I remember going on the bus with my grandma, and I remember my legs stuck straight out on the seat because I was real little. And I always thought it'd really be fun to be big enough that your knees could go over the end, your legs would bend. And I remember the black people having to sit in the back of the bus. I remember that, and kind of wondering why they had to do that. I remember just a lot of playing with my brother and sister when we lived in Detroit. Well, elementary school, I went to school in Detroit till I was in, I think, first grade, and then we moved out here to Salem. And then I went to Bush School. I went there for probably a year and a half, and then we built a house across town. And so then I started going to Catholic school. Well, I still am in touch with the gals today that I went to school with. That we went to grade school, high school together, and we're getting ready for our 50th reunion, and so we still see each other and spend time together. I'm trying to think of anything particular about school. I remember the sisters being kind of very strict, with the kids, and I think I only got in trouble once, and I got in trouble, but I wasn't doing what they said I was doing, but I remember feeling really bad about that. I had to stand in the cloakroom. And it was just kind of a normal childhood as far as just the family times and that type of thing. We had pets. We had several cats over a period of time. We didn't have several at once, but over the years, we always had a cat around. And we had here in Oregon, we just had one dog, and it was a Cocker Spaniel. Her name was Queenie. She was a really nice dog. As a little girl in Michigan, we had another dog that was a little like a wire-haired terrier, and I don't remember as much about that pet. I probably remember more about that, hearing about it, than I actually remember, the pet itself. But then we had on our land we had a cow and a pig at one time. My brother had a goat, and so we kind of had an assortment of pets.
So that's probably some of your chores, is to take care of the animals?
Not necessarily.
Fell under your brother.
No, my mother, like most homes.
Okay, yeah.
My favorite toys when I was little, I liked to play with dolls. I probably enjoyed that as much as anything. And I remember when I was a little girl, I wanted to be a nurse, and so I'd take my dolls. I used to have cloth bodies, and so I can remember I'd cut holes in them and take the stuffing out with tweezers, then I'd sew them back up and play doctor with them like that. We had roller skates and bikes and croquet sets and that type of thing. Hobbies as a child, I don't know if it came under a hobby, but something that I learned that I use as a hobby was to sew. I started learning to sew when I was 5 years old.
Wow.
And I started learning on my mom's treadle sewing machine. And we have to pump, pedal it, no electricity with it. And I remember having a little doll clothing set that she gave me that had little cardboard dolls in it, and then little dresses we had to sew. So I started, as a little girl, and have used that all my life in one form or another. Yeah, a lot of snow. I remember that. I remember at school there was a big bin that had rock salt in it, and they used to put that all over things to melt it. And I remember all us kids used to get in it and eat the rock salt. And I'm trying to think what else. That's early years, like in Michigan. And then as a child too, I was sick. I had some pretty serious illnesses. I had rheumatic fever twice. I had it once 3 months during the school year, and then it came back about maybe a couple years later. That was in the summer though, and that wasn't as bad as the school year, because the school year I lost those months of studying and actually didn't catch it up. And then when I was in seventh grade through high school, I had encephalitis, which wasn't diagnosed. And so by the time they knew that I had it, that I was practically in a coma.
Wow.
And just sleeping all the time. And then the same kind of thing that I lost all those years. You know, I was going to school, but I wasn't learning things. And so, plus, they didn't realize how bad of a disease that actually is. And so, you know, people, even once they knew that I had it, they couldn't figure out why I wasn't, you know, achieving my potential, you know, that kind of thing. And it's something that I've dealt with all my life, all my adult life, the residual effects of it.